Hey, good morning, leaders. Darin here. Listen, I wanted to do this video because I wanted you to be able to feel my energy today. Whenever you're watching this, I would encourage you to watch this a minimum of 5 times. Doesn't have to be 5 times in a row, but just listen to it over and over and over again. That is one tip the billionaire Paul J. Meyer taught me that absolutely changed my life. Is you have to rep your mind like you rep your muscles, and over 50% of what you retain is after the 5th time you hear it, you see it, or you read it. He told me, I would rather you, Darin, read one book, the same book, every month for 5 months in a row than read 5 different books, because you will get so much more out of it. And that is, and let me tell you, that has been proven to be true 1,000 times since he told me that. And this is another example today. The reason I wanted to share some tips with you that'll make a big impact in your business and your life. And you may go, well, man, they're so simple. Yeah, but I've been listening to them. I've listened to the same podcast from Ed Bylett called Unlocking. I believe it's called Unlocking Your Success Code. I just keep listening to it over and over and over again. And every day I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even hear that, the day before. And it means something different. It's not that the information changes. It's the same podcast, but it's that I'm changing on a daily basis. And so this is something that I believe some of you have been waiting for, because for me, it hit me in a way, even though I've heard this before, that it's never hit me before, and some light bulbs went off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. He started out by sharing a story in part of the podcast that his uncle passed away at 50 years old, and I'm going to talk fast so we can keep this video short. And he went to the funeral, and his uncle was, it's the uncle that everybody said, you remind me of him, you look like him, you act like him. And so on the way back, he's sitting there going, you know what? Well, if he's in my family and I look like him, the people say that I remind, me of him, then I probably need to get my heart checked, because he died at 50 with a heart attack. So on the way home, he talked about, this was interesting, how he looked up at the TV screen and he saw a heart on the screen, and Oprah Winfrey, I think it was Oprah Winfrey, was doing a show about, checking your heart and heart disease or taking care of your heart, so on and so forth. And he goes, that shows you the reticular activating system is what funnels, what allows things in to serve what we're looking for, what we told it, and to block things out, because I never in a million years would have paid attention to that heart on the screen if it wasn't up there talking about this new scan that would tell you the buildup and the plaque and things like that. So I caught that because my reticular activating system was serving me on the goals that I had, which was to check out my heart. So he goes to this doctor. They do the scan. Long story, you can listen to the podcast. Long story short, he comes in and the doctor starts saying things like this. Hey, look, I hear you're pretty successful. You're 30 years old. And he was a millionaire by 30. And he's like, yes, sir, I am. He goes, you probably live in a really nice house. He's like, yes, sir, I do. And you have kids? And he goes, yeah, I've got a daughter and a son. And he's like, well, listen, you're not going to be there. How's it going to feel when another man walks your daughter down the aisle when she gets married? And I just got chills because it made me angry just thinking about this. And he's like, how's it going to feel when some other man is there at your son's graduation and you're not there in high school? How's it going to feel when you have another man eating breakfast in your nice house with your wife, with your kids? And he's like, what? And he's starting to get angry. He's like, man, why are you telling me this? What's in the scan? He goes, well, if you don't listen to me, he goes, then all those scenarios are going to come true. And so what he knew, and that's why Ed Mylett was like, thank God this doctor knew that the why is so much more powerful than the how. And actually now studies show it is 70,000 times more powerful than the hows. And so he talked about how you have to have a strong emotional reason for why you're doing what you're doing. And that's exactly what we talk about in this business. The billionaire Paul Meyer used to say, look, you have to have a crystal clear vision of what you want. Not a hazy vision, a fuzzy vision. You have to have a crystal clear vision. So let me give you an example. Material things are easy to use as an example. But it could be, and by the way, Ed Mylett said, if he would have just given him the how-tos, he never would have done it. But because he put emotion, and he put those emotions attached to it, he goes, since then, there's not been hardly one day that's gone by. He doesn't take the medication. He doesn't exercise. He doesn't eat right, because he said, look, if you don't change your nutrition, change your exercise, change your habits, you're not going to make it. And those emotions will pull him forward every single day. Okay? So you have to have a crystal clear picture. So for example, if you want a car, what type of car? Well, I want a Lexus. Well, what model Lexus? I want an LS500. What color model LS500? I want a white. What color interior? Black. Okay, what wheels? I want those chrome wheels that I saw on their website. And then did you go by? Did you test drive it? Did you print off some information, have it around your office? Did you have on your mirror dry erase marker, I am a Lexus earner, or I am a luxury car bonus earner, improve it, right? This is my new car. Do you have it on your refrigerator? Do you have it like I used to have it on the back of a business card on my speedometer? So every time, even if I'm looking at the speed, that little teeny card, subconsciously, I'm seeing it every single day to displace any negativity and any doubts that come into my mind. So I thought that was fascinating. And a couple more bullet points. Okay, and I'm just gonna look at my notes real quick. So it's not the information, it's the emotion. Okay, so it's the emotion. Reasons are what move us and engage us, but you have to attach emotional reasons to it. So that's why you heard me say, look, it's not the money, it's what the money will do for you. You have to put an emotional attachment to that money. Have a vision that pulls you and excites you, and follow up with emotional intensity. And then he said, goals are not promises, they're commitments. And how do you know you've made a real decision? This is what we have to ask all of ourselves. How do we know that we made a real decision to change our life? You know that if you take immediate action, immediate. So for example, if you go, look, it's, not I just want to lose weight. I want to be 185 pounds with 6% body fat. I know he talks about that on there as well. I want to get 10 recruits. Did we take immediate action straight into that to start getting to the goals that we have? The minute you decide to take action, example, I'm going to make a phone call right now. I'm going to ATM someone right now. I'm going to follow up with someone right now. Then you know you have made a real decision. And here's another thing that's interesting. He talked about we only get what we think we deserve. If we're a 75-degree person, this was another podcast he did. Every time I start getting to 80 degrees, I start cooling myself back down because I feel like I'm only a 75-degree person. If you go to a table and there's a pizza, he uses this example, and there's 10 slices of pizza and there's 10 people, a good person is only going to take what they feel like they deserve, which is the right thing. But the way that we start feeling like it, and I've mentioned this has been a light bulb moment for me. Every time I go to a different place in my life, in my business, it's because I finally believed that I could. I've been saying that over and over and over again. So when he had it on this podcast, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Like the enemy, a lot of times is the inner me, and it's the lid in our own head, right? It's that water level. We only go up to that same water level, and we feel like that's all we deserve. That's all that's really possible for us based off of our circumstances, me being bankrupt and car repossessed and on government assistance and applying for food stamps and couldn't make it through college. And so the way that you raise that water level, the way that you raise that temperature is you associate with people just like you're doing right now, even if it's on video, and you have people that stretch your belief. And then when you start working really hard and you see other people having success and you're like, man, I'm working harder than they're working, right? So then you go, I deserve to have that type of success. You raise the water level, you raise the degree of the temperature, and you go, man, I'm an 80-degree person. And so that's why I am intentionally always seeking out people that are where I want to be, because in most of the time right now, to be honest with you, it's on podcasts, it's on videos, it's on YouTube, it's in books, it's in seminars, because I don't have those people that are around me on a daily basis unless it's something like this. So seek out the people, and that's why I am pushing you in this group, pushing you out of your comfort zone, which is the next thing that he talked about. You have to have accountability, right? We will never get to where we should be in any aspect of our life without accountability. Apathy is a natural human instinct common to us all to seek a comfort zone where nothing ever changes. And comfort zones are never comfortable, right? It's what we were designed to try to keep safe, right? So that's why every time we started getting out of our comfort zone, if you don't have accountability, going, were you serious when you told me you wanted this for your family, or were you just joking? Were you serious when you told me you want to retire your spouse before they have a heart attack, or were you just joking, right? So you have those friends that you give permission to hold you accountable, which is the reason I have accountability in every aspect of my life. Spiritually, I've got friends of mine that go, no, you can't put yourself in that situation. I've got, a trainer. I know how to work out. I've been doing it for a long time. But when I go in, that trainer pushes me till I'm almost sick, right? I'm not going to do that every day. Most days, I don't feel like doing that, almost every day. But they push me out of my comfort zone. The same thing when it comes to business. So 2 major decisions. Why? You're doing what you're doing, the emotional attachment. And then he said you have to have a detailed plan how, which is what we help you with on a daily basis in this group. Here's another couple more bullet points. We cannot sustain an image or goal in our minds that is not consistent with our beliefs about ourselves, right? That's exactly what we're talking about. Do I feel like I'm a 75-degree person? Do I feel like this is the water level that I deserve? So we cannot sustain an image or a goal in our minds that is not consistent with our beliefs about ourselves. So that's why accountability is so important. That's why the right associations. You must know exactly what you want clearly before you can ever become aware of it. Example, if he didn't know what he wanted, as far as like getting his heart healthy, then he would have been able to figure out a plan on how to get his heart healthy and stay healthy to be around for his family. And last but not least, a question I want to leave you with, and I believe it was Tony Robbins' son that actually sent this to the CEO of Prove It. And, Brian read this at the leadership event that we were at. And here's the question that he asked him. And I asked myself this question this morning, and actually I think I was like dozing in and out of sleep before my wife got me up this morning to take the kids to school. Why is your business not double what it is right now? Why is your business not double what it is right now? And I'm sitting here and I woke up this morning thinking about that going, I'm not ATMing enough people. I'm not sharing with enough people. I'm not doing as good a job following up as I should have. I've let some trials and stuff slip through the cracks, right? I don't have the intensity that I should have, right? If I want to explode this business and get to my goal sooner than later, my intensity, get the hiccups, is not what it should be, right? And so ask yourself that today. Why are you in this business? Have you really had a heart-to-heart talk with yourself, right? And really think about it and start visualizing, right, why you're in this business. The how-tos, they'll work themselves out. The why is 70,000 times more powerful, right? So why are you in the business? Are you open to accountability, right? Do you get agitated if I push you on this group? This is a leadership group. There's people that I've not added to this group. I don't want to blow them out of the water, but I'm sitting here going, man, I am going to push the ones of you that want me to push. I'm going to push you to the top of the company. But I can only match you energy for energy, right? You have to take a step, I'll take a step. Okay, you make a move, checkerboard management, I make a move. But I will never try to push you beyond what you want to be pushed, right? And then what I do is if someone's not matching my energy, I just let them go. And then I wait and I work with whoever comes after me the most, right? People are like, I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm like, you're never bothering me. That's what allows me to be a stay-at-home parent. That's what allows me to do what I do. I know you're in the game when you're asking me questions like, hey, I ATM this person. Here's the question. Now, if you're not plugged into the system, I'm going to nicely and politely show you the system because I'm coaching you to do the right thing. But you kind of get the point. So let's go out today. Why is your business not double what it should be today? Let's crush it. Are you willing to, let me give you a few examples. Are you committed to maybe ATMing 10 people today, right? Just go crush 10 people today or on the ATM. Are you willing to, I know tonight, or depending on when you're watching this, I'm doing an event for Chick, right? And he's got a lot of people that have committed to come to that event. I'm with Lynn and their whole team tomorrow in Hendersonville, North Carolina. She was telling me this morning, I've never had this kind of response. So are you willing to do a mixer? Are you willing to ATM a bunch of people? By the way, that's my first event tonight I've done since I've been in the company. It's crazy how we can do so much on here. The Zoom that I did, are you committed to get 10 people to watch that Zoom today? Just go out and take immediate action. And if you do the action, it builds your belief. And that belief and that energy, even if the results are not there, it doesn't matter. When you start doing the activity, it feels so good because it's impossible for it not to happen. It's going to happen. So I hope this gave you a little bit of encouragement. I hope it gave you some good tips. And let's go out there and crush the day. Let me know how I can support you in any way. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care.